Yo, what's going on everyone? Welcome back to another vid. Tiki here, and hopefully I can earn your sub today. Here's hoping that your day is great and your week is better. If it's been off lately, hopefully things get better. Now, let's talk anime. Episode 18 of Hoshi no Samidare starts with a couple of mythic knights and beast knights having lunch with Enema, who is eating heapings of food since Enema granted the power of
failure
to Loki. The knights and Enema are here to help Shimaki figure out some new ideas for Golem. It seems our genius has run into a bit of a mental block. While the knights are sitting watching Enema devour the restaurant, the knights start drawing ideas for Shimaki to give some inspiration for the next golem he creates. Before the lunch crew separates, Amamiya pleads for Enema to give some advice that might help Shimaki get over this hurdle. The advice Enema offers is more straightforward than I expected. For Shimaki, it's not a hard one to figure out, but for the others, it might have taken some time. After lunch, Shimaki walks back to his house only to be confronted by Animus, Mamakterion, and Akane, which surprised me a lot. Akane was able to defeat Penspion by himself, and I thought that triumph would have been enough to move Akane closer to the knights, and that Akane would try to put more distance between himself and Animus. The confrontation between Shimaki, Animus, Mamakterion, and Akane was mainly about Mamakterion expressing his relatively human emotions that Mamakterion has learned through watching anime that Akane has shown, and the manga Mamakterion has read. The anger Mamakterion is feeling is due to his need for a fight that will challenge the golem to its full potential. Mamakterion says that Shimaki needs to build a sturdier golem so the two can fight, since Shimaki's creations are the only ones that are capable of taking a full hit from Mamakterion. Animus is not fond of the idea that he fights against Shimaki, however Mamakterion has opposed the idea of Shimaki allying himself with Animus, the first rift in the relationship between the golem Animus created and Animus. Contorting Mamakterion and shushing him up, Animus asks Shimaki one more time to join him, and that it's the best choice since Shimaki could never surpass Anima's golem making skills. The reason Enema gives is that Shimaki is human, and because of that he has limits. Despite what Animus said, Shimaki explains that Animus is also human, but Animus shuts that down by saying he's a god. Animus's grandiose narcissism is on full display here. Once the two finish expressing their feelings to Shimaki, they take off rather quickly, leaving Akane behind in an awkward scenario if it was anyone else but Shimaki. As Akane walks away, Loki requests that Shimaki please keep an eye on Akane just a bit longer. Akane doesn't want Loki asking this of Shimaki. Shimaki tells Loki not to worry and that he'll be watching to see what answer Akane arrives at in the final battle. This means Akane is still on the fence even after his victory over Penspion. Baby Yuki will be the one to bring Akane over to the knight side. After all, she was able to make him blush, and Shimaki can tell that they mean something to Akane. The next day, Shimaki creates a new golem that towers over the rest of the knights and looks to be a close combat specialist. One major problem, the golem wasn't able to withstand one full all-out attack from Yayoi and Invincible, putting Shimaki back to the drawing board, but Amamiya has a different approach. He invites Shimaki to dig holes, and Shimaki is puzzled by this, but Amamiya has a good point. Doing something mind-numbing and physical can relax the mind, allowing for better flow of information. Shimaki, being as smart as he is, was in a sense of shock that Amamiya was able to come up with this, since he envisioned Amamiya to be a complete introvert. At the end of the day, it was the exact change of pace Shimaki needed. A bit of bad news for Amamiya when his aunt called to inform him of his grandfather's passing. Amamiya's grandfather's passing was a slight setback for him because the wish he used was going to be able to restore the relationship they had. Now that his grandfather is gone from a car accident, Amamiya had no way of being able to rid himself of the anger and resentment towards his grandfather. This is until we find Amamiya summoned to the dream realm, but this time Enema has made this plane fully available to Amamiya's consciousness and personality to allow him to remember what happens in the dream realm. During this time, Amamiya can converse with his grandfather one last time, a gift that Enema was able to grant him. His grandfather admits his death was not for any particular reason. Just as Amamiya says farewell to his grandfather, the door opens and we see Amamiya's dad asking if Grandpa is ready to go. We get to see how much Amamiya looks like his father and swear they could be twins. The event in the dream is subjective from what Enema says, so as long as Amamiya believes it happened, then it did. The real reason for Amamiya being summoned was for him to face off and beat Shinonome Hengetsu. As Amamiya climbs each staircase, you can see how the stairs represent him surpassing Hengetsu, and I would even argue him surpassing Samidare. Enema tells Amamiya that, quote, the tale is in its final chapter, end quote, prompting a flashback to Amamiya reading the book and letters from Akatani, reading, quote, Enema is betting on you. This had me wondering if the, quote unquote game that Enema and Animus had going on for eons is just a bet that the two have every so many centuries. Enema also informs Amamiya of him being the quote unquote key to this final chapter. This episode was awesome, and the journey for this anime truly has become a favorite of mine. The episode was a tearjerker, but also had many questions like, If Amamiya is to be the one to leap highest, does that mean that if he leaps from the platform to the hammer, that he's the key to dropping it? Is this game just one big bet between Anima and Animus? Is Shimaki the one to defeat Animus and become the new Animus? Is Samidare alright? She's often drained just like she used to be when she was sick. Could she be starting to revert to her sickly self, or is it just the power that Anima is using? We'll have to find out in the next episode of Hoshi no Samidare and Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer. If you made it to the end of this video, I can't thank you enough.
Thank you so much, best friend.
It means a lot to me, really, it does. And if you enjoyed, please leave a like, a sub, and a comment. Most importantly, please be safe, be hydrated, and know your love. And we'll talk anime in the next one. Later.